Imagine waking up in a body not your own. Your reflection shows a stranger. Your hands, your legs, they feel alien. This is the captivating, unsettling idea of body swapping. It's a common theme in myths and stories, from ancient tales to modern movies. But what if this fantastical concept became reality? What if we could switch bodies as easily as changing clothes? How would it reshape our understanding of self, of society, and of what it means to be human? This potential reality, once confined to the realms of science fiction, is now edging closer to the realm of possibility. Advances in neuroscience, biotechnology, and artificial intelligence are blurring the lines between the physical and the mental. The idea of separating the mind from the body, of transferring consciousness like data, is no longer entirely implausible. The implications of such a reality are vast and multifaceted. Imagine the societal shifts, the ethical dilemmas, the philosophical debates that would erupt if we could trade our physical forms at will. Would we retain our identities, our memories, our very essence within a different shell? Or would we become someone else entirely? And who would we be in such a world? This exploration delves into the heart of these questions. We'll journey through the scientific possibilities, the cultural interpretations, and the ethical concerns surrounding this radical concept. Prepare to challenge your assumptions, to confront the unknown, and to imagine a future where the very definition of self is up for grabs. For millennia, our understanding of identity has been intimately tied to our physical form. Our bodies, with their unique features and flaws, have served as the vessels of ourselves, the outward expressions of our inner beings. This deep connection between body and identity is reflected in our language, our art, our social structures. We speak of finding ourselves as if our essence resides within these mortal shells. But what if this age-old link between the physical and the mental could be broken? What if the you that you experience, your thoughts, your feelings, your memories, could be decoupled from the physical container we call the body? Would you still be you in a different body with different capabilities, different limitations? This question strikes at the heart of what it means to be human. It challenges us to look beyond the familiar, to question the foundations of our self-perception. If we could swap bodies, would we carry our personalities, our quirks, our traumas with us? Or would the new physical form exert its own influence, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in unforeseen ways? The idea of separating mind and body might seem like pure science fiction, but the seeds of this possibility are being sown in laboratories around the world. Neuroscientists are making remarkable strides in mapping the brain, unraveling the intricate networks of neurons that give rise to our thoughts, emotions, and memories. While a complete understanding of consciousness remains elusive, the idea of transferring it, of copying, storing, or even transmitting the essence of a person, is no longer entirely in the realm of fantasy. Advances in biotechnology are also blurring the lines between the physical and the digital. Prosthetics are becoming more sophisticated, capable of responding to neural impulses and providing sensory feedback. Virtual reality environments are becoming increasingly immersive, allowing us to inhabit and interact with digital worlds in ways that were once unimaginable. As these technologies converge and accelerate, the possibility of decoupling the mind from the body becomes less far-fetched. Imagine brain-computer interfaces that allow us to control avatars in virtual worlds with our thoughts, or even to experience the world through the senses of a remote robotic body. These developments, while still in their infancy, hint at a future where the boundaries between the physical and the digital, the real and the virtual, become increasingly porous. Let's imagine for a moment that body swapping becomes a reality. What would this mean for our everyday lives? Would it solve our problems, or would it create a whole new set of challenges? On the surface, the ability to swap bodies seems like a tantalizing solution to a range of human limitations. We could shed our aging bodies for younger, healthier ones, overcoming disease and extending our lifespans. We could experience the world from different perspectives, inhabiting bodies of different genders, ethnicities, or abilities. However, this seemingly utopian vision comes with its own set of complexities and potential pitfalls. Imagine the social upheaval if physical appearance is no longer a fixed attribute. What happens to our relationships, our identities, our sense of self, in a world where bodies are as interchangeable as clothing? The ethical implications are equally profound. Would body swapping be a right or a privilege? Who would control access to this technology, and how would it be regulated? What safeguards would be needed to prevent exploitation, coercion, and the commodification of human bodies. These are not just hypothetical questions, they are real-world concerns that we must grapple with as we venture further into this uncharted territory. Section 5. A global swap meet? The idea of body swapping is likely to be met with a wide range of reactions across different cultures and belief systems. Some might view it as a violation of the natural order, a transgression against deeply held religious or spiritual beliefs. Others might embrace it as the next step in human evolution, a liberation from the constraints of our physical forms. In some cultures, the body is seen as a sacred vessel, a temple that houses the soul. The idea of tampering with this sacredness, of separating the spirit from its physical home, might be met with resistance and even horror. In other cultures, where the emphasis is on the collective good rather than individual identity, the concept of body swapping might raise questions about social harmony and the potential for disruption. On the other hand, there will undoubtedly be those who see body swapping as a form of liberation, a way to transcend the limitations of our physical forms and explore new possibilities of being. For those who feel trapped in bodies that don't align with their gender identity or who live with disabilities, the prospect of body swapping might offer hope for a more fulfilling and authentic existence. Section 6. The ethics of exchange. The ethical implications of body swapping are perhaps the most complex and challenging to navigate. If we can truly separate mind and body, does that mean we can treat bodies as commodities to be bought, sold, and traded? What happens to the rights and autonomy of individuals when their physical forms are no longer their own? The potential for exploitation is vast. Imagine a world where the wealthy can purchase young, healthy bodies, while the poor are forced to sell their own, becoming effectively enslaved in their own flesh. Or a scenario where individuals are coerced or manipulated into swapping bodies against their will. The very notion of consent becomes blurred in a world where the mind and body are no longer inextricably linked. These ethical dilemmas demand careful consideration and robust safeguards. We need to establish clear guidelines and regulations to ensure that body swapping, if it becomes a reality, is used responsibly and ethically, without infringing on the fundamental rights and dignity of individuals. Section 7. The future of identity. In a world where body swapping is possible, the very notion of identity takes on a whole new meaning. If we can change our physical forms at will, what does it mean to have a stable, coherent sense of self? Do our identities reside solely in our minds, or are they also shaped by our physical experiences, our interactions with the world, through our senses and our bodies? Imagine a future where people swap bodies regularly, perhaps for work, for pleasure, or for exploration. Would we develop multiple identities, each associated with a different physical form? Would our memories and experiences be fragmented, scattered across multiple bodies and lifetimes? Or would we find ways to maintain a sense of continuity, a core identity that transcends our physical shells? These questions have no easy answers. They challenge us to rethink our fundamental assumptions about who we are and what makes us unique. In a world of fluid, interchangeable bodies, the quest for identity might become even more complex and nuanced than it is today. Section 8. A Brave New World? The prospect of body swapping presents us with a dizzying array of possibilities and challenges. It has the potential to revolutionize our relationship with our bodies, to reshape our societies, and to redefine what it means to be human. But it also raises profound ethical questions that we must confront before this technology becomes a reality. Will body swapping lead to a more liberated and equitable society, or will it exacerbate existing inequalities and create new forms of discrimination? Will it enhance our understanding of ourselves and others, or will it lead to a fragmentation of identity and a loss of human connection? These are questions that we, as a global community, must grapple with as we stand on the cusp of this brave new world. Section 9. The Unanswered Questions. The potential for body swapping, once confined to the realm of science fiction, is now edging closer to the realm of possibility. As we venture into this uncharted territory, we must proceed with both curiosity and caution, asking ourselves not only can we, but also should we? What would it mean for our relationships, our values, and our very sense of humanity if we could trade bodies at will? Would we use this technology wisely to alleviate suffering and enhance our lives? Or would we succumb to our baser instincts, creating new forms of inequality and exploitation? The answers to these questions remain shrouded in the mists of the future. But one thing is certain, the journey of exploration has already begun, and its impact on humanity is likely to be profound.